Hello Africa, and thank you for welcoming me into your living rooms every Friday once the clock strikes 9 p.m. It's that time again when your newsmakers and most influential in showbiz from all four corners of the globe get some screen time. If they're hip, happening and trendy, well, of course, then they're bound to be on the show. Welcome to Trendz. My name is Rafil Wemwilwa, and in our headlines this week, it is, of course, award season, and the spotlight is now on the 10th annual South African Film and Television Awards happening next month. For the first time ever, a New York fashion show featured blind models who strutted their stuff to shine a spotlight on preconceptions and raise awareness to prove that you don't have to be the conventional to be a runway model. The Nelson Mandela Foundation launches a South African cookbook that seeks to raise awareness about food security, poverty and hunger. The 10th annual South African Film and Television Awards are upon us, an exciting time for the industry as a whole. And this year's theme is Imagine, because of course the possibilities are endless in this industry. The nominees were announced last week, and Trendz was there, of course, to get the 411 on the nominees and the budding excitement, despite the unhappiness for some, as is the norm for any awards show, case in point being the Academy Awards. It's all systems go, counting down to the big do on the 18th and 20th of March, and they'll be hosted by Minnie Dlamini and Boy.
Hello Trenders, I'm Louise Scobel and I'm here in Four Ways, Johannesburg at the Montexino Ballroom, where we just had the nominations breakfast for the SAFTAs, and I'm here speaking to Peter Coelho, who's the head of marketing and communications at the NVF. Good day, Peter. Can you tell us how many categories are nominated this year?
This year, let me start off by saying hello to the Trenders. And well, we've seen the growth in the number of categories that have been nominated this year. So even this year, we're well over 80 categories that are nominated, and those will be awarded over a 2-day period. So on average, we'll award about 40 categories on night one, which will be on the 18th of March, and then we'll award the rest of the other 40 night two, which will be on the 20th of March at Gallagher State.
One is transformed into what exactly?
A work of art, David. The thing is, we get the old cars. Like old, that people don't even use anymore, and then we reinvent them.
Among the 5 features nominated, Ayanda, the film by award-winning director Sarah Blecher and co-produced by Terry Petto, has been nominated for 6 SAFTA awards. Ayanda was released in South Africa in 2015 and has already won several international awards. The nominations are as follows: Best Achievement by a Lead Actress in a Feature Film for Fulu Magovani, Best Achievement for Supporting Actor for Kenneth Nkosi and Thomas Gumede, Best Achievement by Supporting Actress for Ntati Moshesh, Best Achievement in Scriptwriting in a Feature Film for Trish Malone, and Best Feature. Following closely behind is the Afrikaans drama Dis Ek Anna, who has been nominated for Best Achievement by Supporting Actor for Marius Veyers, Best Achievement in Costume Design, Best Achievement in Makeup and Hairstyling, Best Achievement in Directing for Sarah Blecher, and Best Achievement in Art and Production Design. Tina Sobabili, who has been making waves in the world of awards, has 3 nods, including Best Director for Ernest Nkosi. What does it feel like coming home and then having your own peers recognize the talent behind Tina Sobabili?
It's an amazing feeling. It's actually unexplainable, really. You take the film over there and people look at it differently, and you bring it back here and people still look at it a bit differently. So it's a very unexplainable feeling.
The remaining nominations went to Treurgrond, While You Weren't Looking, and For Love and Broken Bones. As part of the mandate of the NVF to develop youth filmmakers, the organization has signed a deal with an international fast food chain as an associate partner for SAFTA's 2016. The lifestyle coffee brand, which is part of the fast food chain, is sponsoring the 10th SAFTA Awards, acknowledging and celebrating young talent who represent the exceptional creativity and future of South African film industry.
Our interest is really to showcase young talent that is coming through, so that's where we'll be leveraging our major sponsorship with our premium lifestyle brand, the McCafe, which is a coffee brand. So that's why we are here.
Congratulations, everybody. As I said, the big do will be on the 18th and 20th of March 2016. Stay tuned. After the ad break, we're back with more. Welcome back. You're watching Trends. For the first time ever, New York Fashion Week held an exhibition featuring visually impaired models. With not even a single guide dog in sight, as we expect on the runway, the revolutionary show's idea was to raise awareness and get rid of the industry's preconceptions regarding people with disabilities, or just, well, different from what society thinks is the norm. Nick Harper reports from New York.
Another runway show for New York Fashion Week. But look a little closer and the differences begin to come into view. Every model in this show is visually impaired or legally blind. Markers have been added to the floor to guide their way, with guide ropes at the side. The models determined there should be no canes on this catwalk. 17-year-old Cecilia Martinez has never modelled before, let alone attempted a runway show.
I think there are not many opportunities for blind people to do this before, and I haven't had the opportunity to do anything like this.
Getting ready backstage, she reflected on how this show will hopefully open people's eyes to the way they view the blind.
I'm really excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I think this is a really good way to show people that blind people can do just anything. It will bring awareness for the disabled community, and yeah, people just will realize that anyone can do modeling, like no matter if you have a disability or not.
If seeing is believing, then one look is enough to prove how passionate the models are about this show. It's a clear demonstration that stereotypes shouldn't dictate what models look like.
There's a certain stigma always that comes with being visually impaired or legally blind, that we can't do certain things, or a lot of people in like my home country of India, with the visually impaired or people with disabilities are very frowned upon and are not really taken seriously, or they're treated kind of like garbage.
Organiser Miriam Chalek has pushed the boundaries before, putting on what she called the world's first dwarf show in Paris last year. As with that, the reception for the blind show has not been universally accepting.
People are reluctant when you come up with something new. Disabled people are they're not that much different from us. They're just unique, and that uniqueness makes them beautiful. So it's really about, showing people, telling people, no matter what your disability is, you can do whatever you want.
From New York, the show moves to Paris, where audiences there will get a chance to take another look at the world of modelling. This show was the first of its kind anywhere in America, and the organisers are hoping that this is just the beginning, to prove that beauty and ability are not defined by disability. Nick Harper, SABC News, New York.
Fantastic, interesting idea. Now, Ceri Dupree is a world-famous female impersonator who performed recently in Cape Town and Johannesburg. Now, his singing, dancing, acting and impersonation are absolutely world-class. Take a look.
Mr. Louis Armstrong. Hello, darling. This is Lewis. Hello, Lewis. Darling, it's so nice to have you back where you've been down.
World-famous drag artist Ceri Dupree was recently in South Africa, hot off London's West End in a brand new, hilarious glitterfest, the fabulous Ceri Dupree show.
The frocks are fabulous, the wigs wonderful, and the voice versatile. Ceri Dupree illuminates people rather than just impersonating them, walking a fine line between character and caricature. Santon's Theatre on the Square played host to Dupree this week as he wowed audiences with his convincing costumes and entertaining witty jokes. Dupree has been delighting audiences worldwide for more than 30 years, and his unique talents have landed him roles in musical theatre, pantomime, summer seasons, TV and cabaret.
I started when I was about 17 and I went to a fancy dress party, and I hate fancy dress parties now because I've dressed up my whole life and I don't like them anymore. If somebody says, oh, come to a fancy dress party, I say no. But then I was younger and I wanted to go. And there's a television program came on in the UK called, they won't know it in South Africa, it was called Heidi High, and it was set in a holiday camp. And they had this character, a lady called Gladys, and she had short black cropped hair like Liza Minnelli, and she wore a yellow jacket and a white skirt. And I went, it was very topical on television, and I went to this fancy dress party dressed as Gladys, and I won first prize, and I'd had a few drinks, so when I went to collect my prize, the DJ gave me the microphone, and I started to do Gladys's voice, and everyone seemed to enjoy it, so I put her into my cabaret show, and then they loved it, so I put Shirley Bassey in, and then I put Tina Turner in, and then there you go.
This will be on a stamp.
His passion for theatre has inspired him to write and produce his own shows, and most recently he starred alongside his sister Ria Jones at the St James Theatre in London in the runway smash hit Misleading Ladies that London's critics adored unanimously. In the fabulous Ceri Dupree show, Dupree closely resembles and sounds just like the gorgeous divas he impersonates. Every song is performed live with no lip syncing.
There's a lot of things that people wouldn't even dream go into preparation. I mean, if I'm doing, say, a cabaret show, there'll be about 12 costume changes. If I'm doing a theatre, there'll be 15, there'll be 18. Pantomime, I do 22 costume changes. So you have to lay them all out in precision, like regimental order. So there could be, all the jewellery will have to have double-sided tape on the earrings to get them on quickly. They'll have wires over them. Well, all those wires have to be, after every show, have to be straightened because they've been bent. The tape has to be taken off, new tape has to be put back on. All the feathers I wear on stage have to be blown with a hairdryer because feathers contain moisture in the air and they go flat. So we fluff them, all those up.
Drag art is a huge industry in the UK and US, and though they may be a dime a dozen, Dupree's act has a distinct uniqueness.
Most of the acts that you see, they mime, they do lip sync, you see, and I've never done that. I've always done it all live, you know, and always tried to have fantastic costumes and do the most glamorous, outrageous women and work hard. I mean, a lot of them think it's easy. They think it's so easy to do. They think you just get a dress, get a wig, bit of makeup, and on you go.
The fabulous Ceri Dupree show is a whirlpool of illusion, captivating chemistry, and a delightful homage to the revered leading ladies of today and of a bygone golden era.
Having a great time. I mean, we exposed to drag a little bit with our own little drag celebrities, you know. But this is outstanding. It's just exposing us to a drag artist who pushes boundaries and in such a small frame of time. So it's outstanding. The costume changes are exquisite. I think the storytelling's amazing, and I'm just loving the really crude jokes. It's awesome.
It's fun, it's irreverent, you laugh a lot, you can hardly laugh as, well, it's very difficult to laugh as much as you do because you get a saturation point, but it's really lovely.
It's amazing, my mind has been blown, literally. I love every second, he is so talented. It's like, you get goosebumps sometimes the way she just presents herself, and everything is just, it flows from one thing into one another. It's amazing. It's really, really, really awesome. Yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot.
The South African film industry is churning out hit after hit. It's absolutely fantastic. This week, another premiere took place of a film we played snippets of not so long ago called Safebet, directed by Bongindla Ncube, popularly known in industry circles as just Mr. B. Well, Safebet follows the story of a down-and-out do-gooder who attempts to make a quick buck by stealing his boss's money to gamble with. And of course, a lot goes wrong and the laughs are plenty. Mr. B is here along with lead actor in the film, Luthuli Dlamini, to tell us and you why it's a safe bet to assume you'll love this film. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you very much.
So, Safebet, the premiere happened just last night. Tell us how it was. What's the excitement like? What's the buzz around Safebet?
Oh man, it's really intriguing. It's very interesting, and it's also very encouraging. We had a premiere last night at the Eastgate Steak Mall, and it was a blast. You know, everybody just came out, and you know, there was some rains, but we were so amazed because then everybody came out still.
No, the weather must never stop us.
Never.
Never. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's been a long process. Literally, you've been in television, in film, a long history that you have. And what was it about reading, that first draft of a script where you saw that character, Doc, and you said, this guy, I think I can do this?
Look, just the opportunity to play a bad guy is always, inviting.
Yes.
And then, of course, the producer's passion, Mr. B's passion. The fact that he also offered me a significant bribe, which I'm happy
Should you
to.
be saying this because did you offer all the cost bribes?
I don't care. He offered me one, and I was, But, a lovely script, the opportunity to in each new character you want that X factor, something that's different, that is different from anything that you've ever done. And, they presented me with the opportunity of using an English accent. It was written by Carl Rodham.
Carl Rodham, yeah.
And just the syntax, the words he used, the way he wrote this, the character, it worked well with a British accent, you know what I mean? So, and so that was very attractive for me.
Fantastic. And Mr. B, were you, of course you had some overall oversee on the cast and who, was part of this film. We have quite a lot of people who we know from other projects, and the difficulty sometimes becomes getting a production that has a lot of big faces, but then the acting maybe isn't necessarily, on the level. So how did you make sure that, you are getting the cream of the crop who will obviously add to, a good script that you had?
Well, we obviously went through a casting process, but I'm one guy who, if I know him and I'm reading this story, I start visualizing him as a person in the story and all his traits, because when you spend time with somebody, so it's kind of like a very easy process for me eventually, because I put these people in there. There is another amazing character of Kaya in the film, who is a guy that I work with all the time, so for his role, basically when he's being written in, just the way he is.
Yes.
But I must say, it was an amazing casting process. We got top names, guys, A-list actors, the likes of Lutuli Dlamini, Wandile, we've got Max Papo, we've got Ceri.
Another thing, though, some of these people who are acting are also, behind the scenes as directors. Is it difficult to direct somebody who also has, a little bit of know-how working with them in that kind of scenario?
Not at all. Hey, what I've realized is that
no big egos.
Not big egos. People in the industry are very, very considerate, and they're very, very professional. So if he comes to my film and he knows that he's there to play a certain role, that's what he sticks to. If I am the director and I say, do this, there is always no harm. I'm always open to suggestion as a director. So if he sees something in another way, like the English accent, for instance, it was never originally written in the story that this character is English.
Yes.
But as he said, after going through the script, he realizes that, look, I can pull this off in a nice English accent. So he talks to me and says, can I do this? Okay, hit me with one. He says it, and I just loved it.
Fantastic. Lutuli, just tell us about a typical day on set, because I'm sure there were so many times where there were many retakes even because, the jokes and all of that. Just tell us how the mood was on set.
The mood was fantastic. Yeah. I mean, it always is, especially when you work with good people. There's a nice vibe, the takes. Professional, a lot of laughs. A lot of gags. Godfrey Tobejan, the boy's hilarious, and you just can't stop him. And I love that, And I've never been a one-take wonder. Sure. The retakes for me, that's where you get the X factor, where you get the magic, if you like. Yes. So you always look forward to going to work. There's a wonderful environment, wonderful people, wonderful atmosphere. Apart from the fact, of course, that, every now and again Mr. B would torture us.
Torture? I don't think so, literally.
Well,
torture.
This
does not look like a man who would torture anybody.
No, that's what he wants people to believe. Yeah.
Okay. And just, Mr. B, just to end off, look, this is 40 years this year of in commemoration of the Soweto uprisings. And, of course, over the years, filmmakers and, people who make documentaries are very much focused on doing those kind of, and telling those kind of stories, But you've chosen comedy.
Yes.
Why?
You know what? Sometimes I think there are stories are seasonal. There's always a story for a particular time.
Yes.
So of which I think now we sort of need something to entertain ourselves. When you go to the cinema, you want to feel good. You want to enjoy yourself. And by no means am I saying that other filmmakers mustn't tell those kind of stories. But the space in which I'm in now, I feel that people just need to be entertained.
Yes.
People need to feel love,
yes,
laughter, you know, when they go to the cinema.
Definitely true. Literally, the South African industry is doing amazing things.
Yeah.
What are you up to next, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, our primary projects, we're working on a heritage piece, producing the eclipse at the Battle of Isandlwana.
Wow.
We believe that we should be telling our own stories, both documentary and full feature.
time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
On TV, I've just finished on Folozi Street. There's a new drama series that's going to come up now.
Fantastic.
Zawalaza, we're just finishing off on that. I'm doing a lot of short films.
Right. So you're busy. You don't get much sleep.
One must keep busy. We love what we do. Yeah.
Of course. With all the stresses and strains, we love what we do.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Safebet opens nationwide at cinemas March
11th.
March 11th.
That's
all right.
right.
Thank you very much for joining me here on Trendz.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. As you heard from the gentleman, March 11th is the date when, again, #fill up the cinemas to go and watch Safebet. Stay tuned. We're back with more after this on Trendz. Hello again, you're watching Trendz. Now, food security continues to be a huge problem faced by different countries worldwide, but of course even more so on our continent. Various organizations are coming up with different ways to raise awareness about world hunger. And here at home, the Nelson Mandela Foundation is also playing its part to address this issue, and they've recently launched a South African cookbook that is also in support of Nelson Mandela Day.
The Great South African Cookbook.
It's no ordinary cookbook with a release date scheduled for Mandela Day. It's no wonder it got a thumbs up from people from different walks of life. Titled The Great South African Cookbook, it will feature recipes of 67 chefs and 9 young upcoming chefs.
Today's event was about launching a concept to excite South Africa about what's coming. Where we're saying to South Africa, we can make food security an issue that's for all of us to tackle.
The cookbook follows a series of other books that have been launched in countries like Australia and New Zealand. Besides scrumptious recipes, the book will also address issues of significance.
We make books all around the world, and we've had a particular focus on making books in South Africa. And many years ago we got involved with making a beautiful book founded on Diva that we sold around the world, Mandela, the Authorized Portrait. And then we made a succession of other South African books, Conversations with Myself, Mandela by Himself, Tutu, the Authorized Portrait, A Simple Freedom by Ahmed Kathrada, and many other South African projects. And we've fallen in love with this place, and so we see it as our job to try and make books that bring, tell inspiring stories about South Africa and South Africans, and to take them around the world and to sell them in many different countries around the world.
Come Mandela Day, powerful men and women will trade their boardroom suits for the kitchen to cook up a storm.
I really love the idea of the Great South African Cookbook. I think it gives you just so much more insight into, the real people of South Africa.
When I cook, I feel like I'm on heaven because I'm doing what I love.
It goes a lot deeper these days than actually just food, but actually eating things which aren't damaging nature.
A lot of tour people coming around here in the World Cup to us and checking out what is smelling like that, and they want to taste.
I'm just so enthusiastic about South African food, and even more so to be part of this amazing project of the Great South African Cookbook.
There are a few farmers who are healing the land, and if you as a consumer choose your food, you're choosing your farmer, and you can heal the earth and the people that way.
Oh my, wholesome, hearty meals. That made me hungry. Just in time. I mean, that book will be released in winter, so perfect time to get a book like that. Now, moving on to our next story, the Roodepoort Theatre has a new production on titled Ga se lerato, a Setswana phrase meaning it's not love. Directed by Lizzie Tsodetsi, the production is about love and reflects on the common pitfalls faced by young and old in our modern yet still traditional society.
The play is titled Ga se lerato, which in English is simply translated as It's Not Love. A question that we should be asking ourselves is, if it's not love, then what it is? The play is set in an old Setswana language. It opens with a young couple trying to find love and comfort in each other's arms without knowing that this man is married with 2 kids. The director of this play will tell us more about this concept and what the message is that she's trying to communicate to the audience.
The whole play is about like a book written by Mr. MJ Mahase. We portray that book. The name of the book is Ga se lerato. Ga se lerato is all about love and betrayal. I think you have saw like there's this guy, Motsamai, who is a family man. At the same time, he's a cheater. Like he had 3 girlfriends outside the marriage, whereby like maybe there he loses almost his whole thing, the money, the job, because of like the kasi where it's becha. He's supposed to becha, yeah. Then the family, on the other hand, like it was suffering. That's why there's this part whereby like maybe the child is talking about Aram skepsa, their Aram skepsa, meaning they don't have food, they don't have money, they don't have like maybe even like the money to pay the school fees.
The man who had a beautiful wife and kids was taken away by the beauty of the world and ended up losing everything. Lesson for lovers is not to take love for granted. We spoke with one of the lead characters in this play, and this is what they had to say about their roles.
It's not easy because of being a single parent. It's very painful, especially when you have 2 kids. They want to go to school, they want to eat, and there's a lot of difficult things outside they experience. During the school times, there is no lunch. So it was very painful for me, and I felt like that woman.
The same man who cheated for his wife finds a 3rd girl or maybe even a 4th girlfriend. Feud starts when a 3rd man is now involved, as the new lover didn't declare to this man that she has another lover in the picture.
Mutsama is a very playful character, and someone is a cheater and someone who doesn't, who loves woman, who thinks everything involves around woman. And at the end of the day, he finds
This production also seeks to highlight the betrayal of true love, because people enter into new relationships for financial gains and being unable to be loyal to one partner. The play at the Roodepoort Theatre will end this weekend.
Now, with so much TV on demand, international series and reality shows taking up so much of people's lives, going out to watch live theatre is unfortunately becoming a last resort. But the Theatre on the Square in Sandton is trying to revive this with a batch of new productions that are appealing to wider audiences. The latest one, Diva Magic, is a combo of magic, cabaret and stand-up comedy. Truly a family experience. Let's see what it's all about.
Good evening, Trendz. A night of elegance, magic and wonder awaits. And I'm here with Olweto Dante, who's going to tell us all about it. Good day, Olweto. Can you tell us what is actually happening tonight?
Tonight we're having a magic show. It's called Diva Magic. It's about the diva and the magician. So what's going to be happening in the show? There's going to be music, comedy, a little bit of dance, just to create a style. So the show, it's new. It's never been seen before. I am the magician of the show, and Irit Nobel, she is the diva. So she's going to be singing her heart out, and I will be doing some magic.
Diva Magic is a high-end variety show with magic and cabaret taking center stage. Featuring award-winning entertainers Miss Irit Noble and Olweto Dante, the show takes the audience back to a time before TV, where theatre ruled entertainment and where guests dressed up for the occasion. From the costumes, sound and lighting, you are guaranteed a night of elegance, magic and wonder. Comedy diva and cabaret queen Miss Ceri Dupree has everything you need in an entertainer: sass, style, and a sultry singing voice. Noble adds a modern twist to the old cabaret genre as the hit favorites are woven into a show of wonder, enhanced with truly mind-blowing illusions by Olwetu himself. What was the thought process in marrying the two, the one very cabaret and the one magic? What was the thought process of getting those two together?
It was an easy marriage. They're very complementary performance styles on stage. The two entertainers were very obvious choices as well, extremely experienced, and they've done very well in their individual fields. It's just a matter of merging the two performances together, which I hope we've done.
Hailing from Khayelitsha and only 23 years old, Diante has not only performed on stage in South Africa, but he has also taken his passion and talent for magic and captivated audiences in various parts of the world.
Tonight's show was lots of fun. It was full of magic and full of dance and cabaret. There was lots of energy and it was really, really an amazing night, and I recommend a lot of people come and do it for a fun night out.
I'm Louise Scoble and that was Diva Magic at the Theatre on the Square. Do go out and see it.
Lovely show, and I am so excited. We have a musical feast for all of you in studio coming up in the next segment of the show. We have The Soil in studio.
Tamadum dabadum badum bum ba. Tamadum dabadum badum bay. Tamadum dabadum badum bum ba. Tamadum dabadum badum bay. Tamadum dabadum badum bum ba. Tamadum dabadum badum bay. Mamela baby, I will give you so much more. Mamela's time to sign my man. Exactly what you've been looking for. There we go. You and I can take it slow, but for now let's move to the rhythm of the music. Let go and baby just lose it, yeah. Bata bata, shy bata bata, ni mamelaje, ni mamelaje. Bata bata, shy bata bata, ni mamelaje, ni mamelaje. Bata bata, shy bata bata, ni mamelaje, ni mamelaje. Bata bata, shy bata bata, ni mamelaje, ni mamelaje.
Hey baby, kabeti pata pata digu chokile. Mamela pala piwami, katati sada sami si chochone panty. Anigu tandile baby, difuna wena wetwa. Di mamelaje, yeah when I love piwami. Kabeti pata, let's break it up. Since I shine, pata pata. Since I shine.
And those were the lovely sounds of The Soil. I chat to them in just a little bit, and you don't want to miss that. Now, 2 years ago, Rolene Strauss became the first Miss South Africa to be crowned with the Balisa crown. And now, just a few weeks before the crowning of a brand new Miss South Africa, a new crown has been unveiled with a beautiful new name.
Miss South Africa 2016 is announced at Carnival City on March 19th. She will be crowned with a glittering new masterpiece, worthy of her prestigious title.
This week, a magnificent new Miss SA crown named Intle was unveiled, especially created for the dazzling Miss SA pageant by Jack Friedman Jewelers. The name, which means beautiful one in isiZulu, was chosen through a social media competition, which attracted hundreds of entries. The event was hosted at the Jack Friedman Jewelry Store in Sandton, Johannesburg, where current and former Miss South Africas were in attendance. We got hold of the crown designer to give us some insight into the making of Intle.
What we decided with the stones, we were going to use only intrinsic, natural South African gemstones. One of the stones, the sugilite, is only found in South Africa, nowhere else in the world. So I think it's perfect metaphor for South Africa and our rich heritage in minerals and mining and gemstones. And we've used these wonderful gemstones in the crown. We were commissioned to make a new crown. I'm not exactly sure why. One of the challenges with the Palesa crown, it was a diamond and platinum crown, which meant that when the Miss South Africa did her duties and went to Durban or went to Cape Town, bodyguards had to accompany her with the crown. So this crown is valuable in terms of the labor and the energy that's been put into it, but fortunately the sterling silver doesn't cost as much as gold and platinum. So she will be able to travel with this crown.
The 12 beautiful finalists were of course at the unveiling and were in complete awe at the first sight of the crown. That could very well be theirs come March 19th.
We had the privilege of seeing it on the Miss SA Facebook page, and we saw a little video of the crown, but the video doesn't do it any justice. It's very beautiful, and I think the reason why it's so special as well is with the name, but also with there's the legacy behind it, having all the Miss South Africas and having their names engraved on the crown, so it's that more even special. So I mean, I was excited, but now I'm really excited for the big day. And I mean, I hope I'm the one who gets to wear it for 2016, but it's a beautiful crown.
It took my breath away. The minute that cloth went off that crown, I got goosebumps and I got butterflies. It's beautiful. The name of the crown and the explanation of what it actually means is beautiful, and I really think it's endless beauty. And that crown, yeah, I'm still in shock and I'm still in awe because it's really the most beautiful crown I've ever seen.
The crown looks absolutely beautiful. I have no words to describe because even the time it was opened, we just all ran out of words to say. It is magical, it's a world-class crown, and a very lucky lady we're able to wear this crown and be able to just raise the flag of being a Miss South Africa for the people and a Miss South Africa that's going to bring a change to the country.
A key feature of the crown, which is made of silver, is the inclusion of an infinity sign to symbolize the enormity and ongoing nature of Miss South Africa's role, not only during her year of reign, but into the future. Jack Friedman Jewelers also designed the previous Miss South Africa Palesa crown, which was first worn by Rolene Strauss, who went on to become Miss World. Inhle was unveiled only 2 years after the Palesa crown.
Innovations, with regards to the way that the Miss South Africa pageant has evolved over the last 2 years. When Rolene was crowned Miss World, I think the whole dynamic of Miss South Africa changed. People kind of saw Miss South Africa as a platform, not only as a beauty pageant, but an ambassador for the country. And so I think it was time to change the crown. And I think it's also nice, if I had a choice, I'd change the crown every year, because every year a new girl is crowned. She's got a new personality, she's got a new flair, she's beautiful, so for me that this is a great opportunity for the girl to wear a new crown. From a history point of view, this crown also shows the past Miss South Africa since 1959, I think it is. And I think that has a lot of history and authenticity to it.
Carnival City will this year play host to the pageant on March 19, 2016, while the home of Miss South Africa, Sun City, undergoes a revamp.
Now, the Department of Arts and Culture, the Gauteng Department and other key partners have funded the 28th Dance Umbrella Festival that is currently taking place in Johannesburg. It opened with a dance piece created by Jessica Nupin and Moving Into Dance Mophatong team with a dance theatre production called Rebellion in Johannesburg. Trendz was at the opening. Let's take a look.
The Dance Umbrella Festival opened last night at the UJ Arts Centre with an exciting dance theatre piece called Rebellion and Johannesburg, which was taken from a classic Shakespearean story.
We're celebrating as best we can. We've got a lovely 10-day program of new contemporary work from both local and international. And what I find very special this year is there's a lot of collaborations between local people and local international and young artists. So it's a nice program.
Dance Umbrella is a catalyst, It's the only dance program in the whole of South Africa. So as a Gauteng province, we are very, very happy and excited that is taking place in our province. But it's also an opportunity for us to expose our up-and-coming township-based dancers, because people dance in the townships and in the taverns and whatever. They've got talent, but they never get to showcase it. But I'm sure you saw today what was happening here, and the exposure that the township form of dance had today. So I'm very excited about it as the department.
Jessica has based her work on the old Shakespearean classic Romeo and Juliet, but it's anything like that. It's called Rebellion in Johannesburg. And I think what it really represents is young people. Young people in South Africa today, their problems, what they want, what they don't want, and their joy as well. It's quite amazing.
I came up with the concept of Rebellion in Johannesburg. I've been living in Europe for over 13 years now, but I'm a born and bred South African. And I grew up in a rather political family, and it's kind of always been in my blood. And after living in Europe for over 13 years, I thought to myself, I am actually really inspired by where I come from. You know, the further away you are from home, the bigger the connection is with home. But I was able to perceive Johannesburg from a distance, from afar. And so I looked at the different transformations taking place not only in the city, but in the country as well. And I was fascinated by the opinions and the perspectives of our generation.
We have a joint responsibility to bring it to the country. This is for me, it's a dance theatre piece, because it's we wouldn't want to sort of bound it or just restrict it from and give it a name, and say this is this kind, because we've played with different elements of dance. We've played with contemporary, we've got Afrofusion, we've got
Casa style, Spanzula, Bourgeois. So it's a fusion. It's mostly a fusion of almost every dance style.
And it's got text as well within. So it's a theatre production.
Each one is no longer a city of gold. It's a city of business. Everybody is business.
You are like when they see you, they see business. Even the police.
Interesting work is a collaboration between Nelly Siwekaba and Mamela Nyamza. It's a place called The Last Attitude, and it's basically looking at the male dancer's role in ballet. So these are two black contemporary dancers who are depicting the male ballet dancer. And then we have Gregory Makoma with his work Kitima, which is a work he actually created in 2003 as a solo work, and he's now restructured it, and he's going to be actually doing two different performances. The first night will be the male cast, and the second night the female cast, and it's 4 dancers each night. So that, I think, is going to be very interesting as well.
Given the fact that I've been performing also the Dance Umbrella for the last 25 years, well, for me it's really, I thought about, how can I remember some of the works that I've performed at the Dance Umbrella. So Kitima is one of those, which is a 13-year-old work, and so I wanted to revive it and bring it back for an audience which has never seen it, but also for an audience who also have witnessed it that time, but to see it set on a new company of dancers. I'm always amazed by the commitment of the dancers. And for me, because that is always my starting point, that you work with dancers who are actually able to take an idea and really blossom with it and make it believable for an audience that is sitting there, and to take us into the history, but also the current affairs of our city, but also for our country, of our continent. So it was so great to see such a culmination of ideas and current affairs coming together through movement and art.
This festival will be running in Johannesburg until the 6th of March, so if you're interested in celebrating African dance, then it's surely the place to be.
And so the search for a female lead singer to take over the reins from Buhlemda of internationally acclaimed a cappella group The Swirl is officially over. Theo Matsoba was chosen as the new member of the band just this week, and she has already started rehearsing with the band and will join the fellas next month. The decision to replace Buhle came after the group announced that she will be taking a step back, or rather a step out of the music scene, but just for a while, to focus on her ancestral calling, after a short but intense process to choose someone to fill Buhle's big shoes. ladies. One talented lady came out tops, and they're all here in studio, as you heard earlier. But now I'm sitting with the two leading ladies. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you so much.
My gosh. So, Buhle, thank you so very much. And basically, that was sort of your last performance with the group before you step out. How are you feeling?
Bittersweet.
I'm sure. I'm very,
yeah. But there are things in life that have to be attended to, whether we like it or not.
Sure.
And I'm just happy for her, you know, because it's going to be a whole new experience for her. And we were having a chat yesterday while driving to another interview that she hasn't traveled and whatnot.
Oh,
and
wow.
all I said is that you're going to have so much fun.
Living out of your suitcase.
Yes.
Theo, can you actually grasp what is about to happen? I mean, this must be phenomenal for you. You are just imagining it all, but you are about to live it right now.
Yeah, it's great having such an experience because I've always looked up to the Soil. I've been a fan. So to be part of this experience and experience their life is just... It's amazing.
Where are you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself, your musical background. Just who is Theo?
Theo is just a 20-year-old girl from Soweto. I started singing when I was 14. That was in 2009 at school. So yeah, that's basically where it all started.
Wow. Yeah. And obviously the Soil as a group, you know, many people look up to them. We all love their music. Yeah. But for you, when they announced, I mean, the fact that they're looking, and not even, you know, to replace, no one can ever replace you, and, you know, you are just stepping out for a little bit. But for someone to come in and, you know, fill your shoes, what was that, you know, how did you decide to say, you know what, I'm actually going to put myself up and submit an entry and say, I think I can do this?
As I said, I've always loved the Soil and I've always listened to them. So when I heard that they were looking for a lead singer, you know, female lead singer, I was really excited and I was like, okay, let me just try it out because I love singing. Yes. I love the Soil. I know almost all their songs. So why not try it out and see how it goes?
Yeah, I was about to say,
she knows
don't
every
admit
song.
that.
Like, word for word.
That's fantastic. Buhle, and just, you know, as a final, you know, words to Theo, what kind of advice can you give her? She is, you know, much younger than yourself and she's about to be in the world of showbiz. You guys have performed from the smallest to the biggest stages.
You know, Theo is the same age as my little sister, you know, and I feel like God in disguise, he gave me a little sister in the industry as well. And all I said to her yesterday, we had a long chat yesterday, that she mustn't allow people or society to change the person that she is.
Very
and
true.
she'll always be Theo from Dobsonville, and that shouldn't, being with the Soil, that shouldn't change her perspective, and that shouldn't change her roots or forget where she comes from. You can only enhance the person that you are, but don't forget where you come from. My mom always told me that, and it made me the woman that I am today, you know. So she must just stick to her being herself and continue singing like a bird. She's beautiful.
Oh, I
her
can't
voice
wait.
is amazing.
We all can't wait to hear you. Thank you so very much, Buhle. All the best on the journey that you're about to embark on. Very important journey. And Theo, the sky, not even the sky, even beyond the sky is your limit. You know, all the best, and you're about to perform with the guys. Guys, please take care of her. All the best, and fantastic. The Soil are about to play us out. This is the reveal of their new lead singer. Her name is Buhle and she's from Dobsonville in Soweto. Join me again next week. You were watching Trendz.
Suzeno zonde kumbule, Suzeno zonde kumbule, Suzeno zonde kumbule, Suzeno zonde kumbule, yeah, milingunda isawa sinokusebenza dikumbula Suzeno. Uthando lakho nyani mnandi nalo ntombi yakwaphalo uyazi ndinqoma ubuhle bakho njalo 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 nxa kubani uveske numerongo funa sidlale onela Suzeno zundikhumbule Suzeno zundikhumbule Zundikhumbule Solandivile Diavuma kudala ndimkile Solandivile kudala neminyaka iphelile Solandivile Diavuma kudala ndimkile Solandivile ndibuyele ekhaya ndibuyele ekhaya
Dithatha nawe Suse Dithatha nawe Suse Come on
Dithatha nawe Susan Dithatha nawe
Dithatha mtokile Nabona yona intoka sezithobile uSuze nemani mbonile eshona eyezansi ezifihlile uSuze newayefuna ukabona uSuze ogogo yemkile kabona uSuze
Inoni ngaki kawuthethe Susan Ngifuna wena lavi kabuye Susan Hey Susan Zundikhumbule Susan Zundikhumbule Wena mani Suzy
Susan
Zundikhumbule Susan Zundikhumbule